Breaking right now, wild weather rolled through our area this afternoon, leaving behind a path of destruction in many places. We are tracking reports of widespread flooding, trees and wires down, building collapses, and even roofs blowing off of buildings. Good evening, I'm Johnny Archer. Many people are dealing with the aftermath of the severe storms that tore through our area this afternoon, and we just learned Lower Marion Township is under a state of emergency. Take a look at the destruction in parts of Philadelphia. The storms forced multiple trees to the ground across Philadelphia. In West Philly, our cameras saw several trees down, blocking roads and pathways, and a lot of branches scattered around. These videos were taken near 51st and Osage Avenue. In Delaware County, another tree came crashing down, this time on a house and cars in Upper Darby. The person who reported and recorded this, posted it on the Citizens app, claims he saw lightning hit the tree before it fell. And you can see some of the branches stuck in the power lines. This was taken near Market Street and Milbourne Avenue. Emergency crews in West Philadelphia responded to a downed tree near 56 and Baltimore Avenue, and you can see the tree down on a blue parked car there. And in South Philadelphia, strong winds forced rain to come down sideways. This is video from the Home Depot along Oregon Avenue, where you can barely see past the overhead covering. People took shelter inside the store as the heavy rain poured down. And there was a similar scene back in Delaware County. Our cameras saw water starting to pond on the streets in Havertown. This was taken near Darby and Eagle Roads. And dangerous driving conditions across much of Philadelphia. This was taken on the Schuylkill Expressway. Visibility was reduced as that heavy rain came down. We have live team coverage as we check out multiple reports across our area of storm damage. Let's start with NBC 10 Shair Arias, who is live in South Philadelphia, where we understand people had to be evacuated from a building. Shair, tell us about that.
Johnny, we are on 24th and Washington, and anyone who was in this area of Philadelphia during that time that severe storm came in was for sure scared, because the winds were just so strong and there was just so much water coming down. I want to show you some of the damages that we're seeing right here. This building right here, it's actually located on 2401 Ellsworth, and you can see that the roof, just part of the roof, came tumbling down, then hit the building that is right besides it, right behind it, and then part of that roof also came down and just destroyed this vehicle right over here. You can see the debris, all of the pieces of the building as well, bricks. Now, block right here, which is 24th Street, is blocked off all the way up to Ellsworth, where the building is. Now, even though we can't see the damages to other vehicles, we can assume that there are damages to the other vehicles because those bricks are completely covering the area where that Audi is. We spoke to the man who says he is one of the owners of this building. They actually own the entire block, and he says that this building has been vacant for 20 years and they haven't done any kind of work on the building itself, but they are planning on breaking it down, bringing all this area and creating actually this into a new apartment complex. We spoke with him about where he was when the storm came in. He said he actually heard part of this collapse and he was told that this happened and he came rushing here. Let's listen.
I just think first thing, I hope nobody hurt. That's why I'm not worried about the building, nothing. And I find out, make sure nobody hurts. And then we call police and the fire department.
Now, officials have not given us any information, but he tells me that he did speak to officers, and they say that nobody was injured, even though we're seeing this extensive damage. Part of this building just came tumbling down. You can see that it ended up just destroying this Jeep right over here, and then also causing some damages to other vehicles in this area. He says that they are going to be coming to clean this up very shortly. So hopefully in the next few hours, all of this will be cleared up. This road right here, the street, 24th Street, will be opened back up for traffic. But as of right now, nobody can even walk through here or be in this area because they just don't know what the conditions are. I'm going to send it back to you, Johnny.
All right, Shair Arias live for us in South Philadelphia. We get a sense of how strong that storm was. Shair, thank you very much. All right, now back to this. A state of emergency has been declared in Lower Merion Township in Montgomery County. Wires and trees went down all over the township during that storm. Wynwood is one of the hardest hit spots. More than 6,000 are without power right now. Township officials are asking everyone to stay off the roads so crews can clean up. And thousands of people have lost power because of the storms that rolled through our area this afternoon. At last check, PECO has more than 36,000 customers without power, with the majority in Philadelphia. And as we said, more than 6,000 customers in Lower Merion Township. PSENG is reporting just over 100 customers are in the dark right now. Our live team coverage continues now with NBC 10's Kelsey Kushner in West Philadelphia. Kelsey, how's it looking out there?
Johnny, I am at 55th and Vine, and take a look at this. This is a roof that was once on top of a building that belonged to dozens of residents out here in West Philadelphia. We now have pieces of that roof lying in the middle of the street here. There are bricks, insulation, there are wood beams, nails, glass spread out all across the street here. It looks like city crews have finally brought out crews that are going to start removing some of these pieces of debris to try to get this road cleared up. It also impacted at least 4 cars here on the block. You can see them crushed underneath the beams there. This is just one scene that we saw out here in West Philadelphia. We have been driving all across the area. If you take a look at some of the video at 56th and Thompson, there was a tree that was uprooted and collapsed on live wires and crushed a car. Those wires impacting the tree. It was actually smoking on that wire when we got there. And a couple blocks over 58th and Lebanon, neighbors say the entire block was flooded out. The street turned into a swimming pool. Neighbors say their cars were just floating everywhere on the street. Back to this scene out here, though. We spoke with a man who was inside this house when the roof ripped off. Take a listen to what he had to say.
I heard a giant boom, and I'm like, did we get hit by lightning? And then I looked out the front door and saw the roof was on top of my vehicle, and then immediately the leaking from the 3rd floor and the 2nd floor started to come down. So I immediately started unplugging everything and then getting the kids out. And I stayed in. Once I knew the kids were out, I stayed in just to grab the important paperwork and anything I could, my system to sell, just in case. I don't know when they're going to let us back in.
Another live look out here at the scene as crews try to figure out the best way to tackle this. We do have a number of residents who were put on SEPTA buses nearby. They are sitting there getting some cool air while they make some calls and wait for answers as to what they are supposed to do for the rest of the night. But again, this damage really just shows just how strong the wind gusts were out here earlier today. And, you know, a lot of the neighbors saying that this roof was fairly new. Obviously, it did not hold up to what that storm brought this afternoon. Live in West Philadelphia, Kelsey Kushner, NBC 10 News.
Before you go, Kelsey, I just want to ask you, I know this is very early in the situation, but have emergency crews reported any injuries? I mean, that's just an incredible sight to see a roof come off a building.
Johnny, great question. There were no injuries reported out here,
Amazing.
Which truly is a miracle when you look at this damage out here. But neighbors say that they were able to grab their things and
Wow.
get outside pretty quickly. And as of right now, no reported injuries.
Wow. All right. Kelsey Kushner live for us in West Philadelphia. Kelsey,